Hello everyone, thank you so much for stopping by my channel. I'm so happy that you're here with me. Today I have a double spread for you that is right up 4th of July time. And I was inspired by the Griffin Finishing School. They used a step card that looks similar to this, and I was so inspired. I think it was created by one of the Annabelles, so I was just so inspired. And then also they introduced Jennifer, and I don't remember Jennifer's last name, but she inspired me because she said, let's use what we have. Now our budgets have changed with everything going on in the world, and so let's try to do and use what we have. So I tried to use everything that I already have, and that's 4th of July kind of related. We have some stars, some compass. I kind of mimicked little starburst to kind of make it look like 4th of July. This is from the Handsome Collection Crop at Home 1. Come along with me and I'm going to show you step by step how I put it together. The first step is to get the red paper, and we are going to cut around in the shape of a C at 1/2 inch. Right here's the 1/2 inch mark. And I am starting all the way at the top, and then I'm going to stop at the 1/2 inch mark over here, right there. And then we are turning it right here. Okay. And then you start again on the 1/2 inch mark, and you bring it all the way down, right there. And then you turn this again, and here's a 1/2 inch mark, and here, and then this time it's going to go all the way down. So what we have here is now a C frame right there, okay? And that is going to go on top, just like that. Won't that be just so freaking cute? Okay, so let's do one more just like this. And then this one is going to sit on the other side. And I just love the way that you get a little bit of the edge here, and then you get this little red piece, and maybe we can tuck a little bit of gold underneath. I think that would be gorgeous. Let's glue this down because that will make our cutting a little bit easier. So we are going to glue this part down. So I'm calling this the top. And I am going to just barely fillet the edge out. Okay. Do you see how we can kind of still see a little bit on the outside? And of course, we're going to cut the top in just a minute. So this is red basil paper. I really wanted to use our Handsome, this one, but I didn't have enough paper. So I got this one instead. It has a tiny bit of a texture on it. Okay, so here we are again, gluing this down here, and make sure that they are going in the same direction. So this one is going to be on this side, right here. And we're just moving this a little bit. I'm trying to look up at the screen every once in a while. I so apologize. My last video was off center, and there was no way of me going back, and I'm not a professional, guys. I'm so sorry. Okay, here's that one. And then this one goes right there. So this will be a double page spread that continues. Is that not beautiful? Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna open this up even more and go around it. And let's see how much of it we need. So we are going to go all the way around at 1.25 inches. I'm looking at my ruler here, and I need to mark what 1.25 inches here looks like. Here's 1 inch, and here is my quarter right there. And then coming this way, here is, we need to make sure we go 1 inch up. So here is 1/4 short, so then we have 1 inch, and an extra quarter is right here. Okay, so you need to learn and get to know your tools so that you can see where you're cutting. And I have this little white paper here, not to cut, heaven forbid I cut this, but I'm only using it so I can see the ruler. There we go. And then we bring it back up. Let's see, we go 1.25 inches. And right here is 1.25 inches. There we go. And then we're bringing it back up. And on this last cut, it's going off the paper, not on the top. On the top, we start right there. And then we're going all the way down. Okay, so then we're able to see with my super, I love this mat. I know it's not for everybody, but it has really helped me see better. Here is the part that we're taking out. And now we need to do the same thing to this one. And the recipe for this, again, was 1.25 inches. Right here, paper, 1.25 inches. And we're stopping on this side. Do you see how this busy paper does not allow me to see my numbers correctly? So now I can see that there. And we're going to start at the bottom, and we are starting and stopping. We are stopping at the 1.25 inch mark from the bottom. Okay, so I cut out these gorgeous little itty bitty, super skinny, these little dies from this year's Scrapbook Crop 2. So what I plan on doing with this is putting it on the very edge of the red and the frame. That is where I want to put it. So I don't mind a little bit of glue outside, and the easiest way for me to do it is if I put my little tiny little skinny thing right in between. Let's just test it out. Why not? Okay, and I want this tiny little point to be right here in the middle, because then it's going to be easier for me to miter it for the next little corner. So one little triangle is going to be red and one is going to be blue, and that's how I know that I'm staying straight. And it sits right there. There we go. So it kind of looks the same like this one. It's not exactly the same, but I can live with that. It's okay. Okay, so I decided I wanted to use this die to be on the edge here, and I kind of picked this one because I felt like these little flourishes in the middle would be kind of like a spark, kind of like a firework. So that's how I'm working this. So I've decided that I just want a little bit tucked in, so that's what I'm doing here. I already have a double-sided glue on this, and I have this down. And I am going by the little leaf. I'm putting the little leaf down with just this little second bottom little triangle covered is what I'm doing. Okay, and then I'm cutting this little extra leaf right here off because you never know where we might need a gorgeous gold leaf. So I have it over there, and that sits just like that. And I like that. And then I'm going to do this side because it's easier to kind of do the both ends by themselves. There we go. So pretty easy to put down. And then I think I have decided to use the brighter white with the little triangles instead of the blue. When I was putting this down with the blue, I just got this very formal look, and I think I wanted a little more fun, so I'm doing with the white underneath. Okay, so this is going to be sitting like this. This is all from the Handsome Paper collection. Look at that. I have here the page that the Z card is going to sit on. So what I do here is I want to measure how big that card could be before we actually start cutting the paper. 8 inches to work with. So we have 7 by 8. So because this is a red, white, and blue theme, I would like to do the first page to be, so red, white, and blue are my theme, my colors. This one on the back, because we're going to do the biggest one in the back, and it is going to be 7 by 8 across. And 5.5 tall is going to be our first mat. 5.5 tall. And 8 going across. Here is how this is going to be the top portion, and it's going to have gorgeousness up here, and then this is going to sit right there. And now we're going to do the white one that's going to sit right on top of that. Was going across 8, and then going on top, I want it to still be smaller than this one. So this is 5.5. And I'm thinking that's 5.5, and I don't want it to be the same size. I want it to be a little bit smaller. The next mat is going to be 5. Okay. So this is going to sit here. And I want to be able to see the different colors. And then the top is going to be this gorgeous red that I just love. So now we are going to 4.5. Make some hinges for this. So this gets pretty challenging because we want to make a hinge that holds these two right here together, because this is going to fold this way. And then we want to make a hinge on right here, because this is going to fold this way. Now we need to make the hinge right here. And we're going to use blue, a little piece of blue scrap. 4, this is 5. This is 5 inches. So we want a 1-inch strip. And we want it to be 5 inches. Here we want to put a score on it. And we start from the bottom up. I like to put little tiny angles on my little hinges, just because that kind of gives you that extra assurance that it's not going to be showing in a different spot. Just a tiny bit. And it's going to sit right here on the inside, right there. So we have wet glue. And I'm going to start working on this one. I put glue on, and we're going to put the little hinge down. We want to make sure that this hinge is right over that spot. And then the next part is going to be this way, that we're flipping over in this direction, okay? Okay, and then we're gonna go this way. So now we want a little hinge that matches this piece because it is gray. And we're gonna take the size of this one and cut a little piece off. This is 4.5, so we want 4.5. And at the most we want an inch from this little space. There we go. And then here we are going to score this little piece right here. Just lovely. And then we're gonna just remove a tiny little slither of the little tiny little areas that sometimes can poke out of little booklets. I just like to take the little tiny pieces off, because then once you glue it in and you try to take it off, you can't. It's stuck forever. And we're gonna add glue to both of these spaces. And then we're adding the red on top. You want to cover all the blue and everything from the bottom. So here you start to see our little card forming into a Z. And of course, this is going to be a little pop out that we're going to have inside. Okay, so I used my fancy folds to make the wave. You use these little fancy folds, okay? If you don't have the fancy fold, this is a 1/4 of an inch, and then this is an inch, and then you keep going and going and going, and you fold it together. So I put 3 pieces together, and now I am gluing it because this is going to be inside of a scrapbook that maybe somebody is going to be handling. And so I think if somebody's going to be handling it, that it should be kind of really put together the best that we can do it. So I'm gluing all these little pieces together. And then we're going to cut them, and this is going to be the flag waving. Okay, and then we're going to flip it over to the other side. And just a tiny bit of glue is all that you need to kind of keep this pressed down, because this is going to be inside your book. And then we're going to measure the first part where this one is going to go is right here on this space at an angle so that the flag is somewhat moving, is what I'm trying to see here. I would like it to be right off of that edge. I think that's perfect. Okay, so what we'll do is we add our tape and we bring this down. I'm putting these little corners right underneath that the little edge of the top one, right here, so that I'm trying to stay as even as we possibly can. Oh, and then we come way over here and we're gonna cut with our X-Acto knife as best as we can. And then on this side, and then we're going to do the same thing to the other side of the inside. But right now we are doing all the big pieces, okay? So now we get to do the exact same thing to this one. Okay. And then we have to check the mechanics. See, sometimes this has to be a little bit smaller than expected just because it has to stay in the crease. So you just kind of shave off little pieces at a time till you find the right mechanics. Look at that. Oh, perfect. That looks good. And then we're doing the same thing over here. Now we need this part. These inside pieces all have to be done. So we need to keep doing more of the little flags. So let's keep doing that part. Okay, sweet people, so sometimes you change your mind, and I want to show you that I sometimes change my mind. So I had this gorgeousness right here on this blue one, and then I had the silver dye right here. I just took it all apart, so I'll show you how I had it earlier right here, and then this red one was right here, okay? And it does this, and I love it, but I wanted something more uniform. Sometimes, you know, you just change your mind. We're crafters, and sometimes we don't feel it after, especially I kind of let it sit there and I sleep on it is what I call it, and I changed my mind. So there we are. I decided that I wanted the exact same dye for all of them because then it'll look like a uniform step. And that's when I went and got this die. Absolutely gorgeous. It goes from the, I think it's the 2016 12-inch dies from Griffin and Cutterpillar. Who says that's too much? Is that too much? Maybe. Okay, we're not going to use the gold. It's just going to be too much. It's just sometimes too much is too much. So here all our gorgeousness, and now you have to pay attention to your paper. This blue paper, I do not know the brand. It is, I'm not sure, but the back of it is black. So when you cut it on top blue, and then you're gonna cut it again on the back side in black so that way it shows up and you can turn it into kissing buddies, and it's absolutely perfect, okay? And so when I was looking at this also, it is, if I do four little perfect loops, it is the size that I'm needing, 8 inches for this whole thing. So I thought that would be perfect also. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut off this little finial piece, the finishing piece on this, and then I'm going to cut off this little piece right there and kind of round this little corner. Just like that. And then it is the right size for my page. I'm using the little border edge so that the border edge sits here just perfectly. So we're going to add a little more tape right on the edge. Right there. And then we decided that this one did not really need the top of it because it's going to be flat on the paper. And we're going to add again glue. And we're going to take our little snippets off. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, that is so much better. I like the uniformity of that so much better. Then we're going to put a little strip of glue just for fun. And then we have this new sponge glue that I'm trying out. And this is going to go this way. So I have to wet the embossed section because this debossed one is going to be the one that is facing the other direction. Anyway, here we go. So just like that, get plenty of glue on all your little pieces. This glue to me also makes things a little bit stiffer. So since they're kind of out in the area, that's why I want them like that. Okay. And we put them down looking at, with this lovely light, I can really see that my pieces are matching. I really am enjoying my Cutterbug, right? Cutterpillar. It's the Cutterpillar, edge to edge ultra glow. I am really liking it. And it closes up like that. How cute is that? Now we have the red one to do. Yay. All right, red going in. We cut off the little edge. Just like that. And then the other one is going to sit exactly the same. Then this one, you put this way on. So you make sure you have to glue the embossed area. Okay, lovelies. And then I do a tape roll at the bottom just for security. And we're going to glue these together. You see how easy that just tells me through this little glow light that I can see right away where I need to manipulate them to match just perfectly. And I think this one is going to need to be trimmed a little bit more. It doesn't look like it's sitting just perfectly. That's better. And bring it in. Look at how cute that is. We did our lovely flag swag. Put these buntings on here. We want everything to show. So now let's cut a bunch of these buntings in the different colors. And I am using so I pulled out all the little cards. These are embossing folders, sorry. This says trimmings. This is the Anna Griffin trimmings and tassel border, the little one. And then this bigger one says scallop border, cut and emboss. And then these are the 12-inch ones that are the Anna Griffin tassel border that is 12 inches. And then this great big huge one, I just want to do something with it, but I don't know what yet. And it is the great big ones from Anna Griffin. These are old ones. These you have to use a die first to cut them, and then you run them through the embossing folder. Okay, so I ran a bunch of these through, and let's see how I kind of practiced a little bit. You guys know that I love to make a template, and so I was kind of practicing with this little template here. I used this one, kind of put this here, and I was measuring how far this little flag part would go. I want to show as much as I can of this, so I'm thinking I'm putting this right under this little cute border and stretching this part out. So what we have is this double one, and I cut it in half. So I'm thinking on the red, the blue would be really cute, so that's why I kind of have this one there. I cut them in this gorgeous midnight blue. I cut them in the silver that matches that's supposed to be my white, but then I went back and found some frosty white because I think for the flags or the bunting, that might be cuter. And then of course in this gorgeous red. So let's see what we end up with. Okay, so I have been playing and playing with all of these wonderful little scallops that are in lieu of 4th of July bunting. I started here with the little flag on the bottom, and then we have the little royal blue on the side. I just cut it. Don't be afraid to cut your dies. Use them in a different way. And then this little white one here on top, and then I kind of keep going and going and going. And so here is what I end up with. Look at all this gorgeousness. So I put the little red one underneath, this little white, two little tiny little slivers of bunting. And then on this side, we have the red large one. And yes, there is a little space underneath here. Therefore, you have to kind of hide those little spaces. And then on the other side, we keep going. You see that? Just keep going. And so I still have more of this little stuff to put on. And let's see where we want to put it, right? I mean, we cut these out just for this event. So let's see where we put more things at. I wanted to show you how I did that though. Before I lose all my light, I want to show you where my little book ends up at. I so like much better the consistent same die at the top. So when you open it up, you can kind of see it's all the same step. It's 1/2 inch in between. And so we did the little steps here. I put a bow because that's always where I like to open my things at. And you open it up from here and you get 2 little pages where you can put pictures at. I put little frames right here. This is all the little knick-knacky stuff that come from the Handsome my little book. Now that it's almost finished, all I need to do is put some cute little pictures in here. This is all being used from the Handsome collection that was from our original crop 1. The Anna Griffin crop 1. And so here we open this up. I'm so loving the red, white, and blue. I do not have any of the red, white, and blue. Excuse me, the Statue of Liberty or little stuff, but I just like the way it looks. So that's what we went with. I put lots of little stars all over to kind of make it look patriotic. And here we are. So now we're going to put it on a page, okay? Okay, so now I have here my base page. We were using these little dots. We have this gorgeous little frame that we put together with this gorgeous gold. We're gonna stick this little thing down. We put this down. There we go. Okay, so this is the page that I want my little mini scrapbook inside my book to open, because I feel like it'll open this way and then it'll open this way and it'll be completely open on the double page layout. So we're going to use heavy duty double-sided score tape to put this down, because I feel like it's the only way that this will stay stuck. We do not want this to be moving around at all. As I am feeling my book, I feel like I do need to go ahead and add some magnets, because it is starting to feel heavy. So I think I want to put a magnet in this little space. Little tiny drop of glue, just so that it holds on. We want these two to close in. This is quite easy to kind of sneak the magnets in, because this is on the very edge and I can kind of find where I can sneak this in. Very good. And then we're going to sneak in here with some glue and glue that baby in. Okay, so now we have this side snapping and we have this side snapping. Okay, and that just makes it easier to put little magnets in there before you glue this piece down. And what I like to do here is I like to take off this little piece, so I have a little part to pull off. Okay, so now let's get this piece sitting. Okay, this part is fun, and I kind of think I like it a little bit further in right there. There we go. A little bit of a snap, not bad. And then we pull it up and look at all of this space that we have. There is our scrapbook, our inspiration card turned into a scrapbook page. And now let's do this one into a not so hero page, or into a hero page that would introduce this page. Okay, I took this and doubled it. Okay, so this was a normal little page mat, and I cut out an extra super thin one, and I have all my little leftovers here. And then the red one I want to put on top. You know how we always put it the other way. We put this one on top of this one. Well, I'm thinking I want to use it as a background. Look at that. So we are putting that down. Okay. And then we want to put this one on top of that. You see that? So, and we're putting a little wet glue because this is too thin for my other glue. That's what I'm going with. Okay, here we go, eyeball method. Now, since this page over here has these gorgeous, the date is already here and all these gorgeous little embellishments, I feel like we need to do another bigger embellishment over here. Okay, so we are getting close to finishing this up. I really love to layer and layer and layer my stuff. So put a little bit of glue on the outside so we can get that little space. Keep the little space up here open so that we can still slide pictures in. If you leave the sticker paper on there, you'll be able to still slide a picture in there, okay? Just like that. A little bit of glue. Okay, so here is what the paper looks like in the back. This is the top. And then I want to add this maybe about right there above these little spots. Let's come in here and cut this part off. And we flip it over this way and you're able to cut off the piece that you don't want to use. I have my lovely little pop-up dots here. Right there, I think I like that. So the little pop-up dots are gonna help us making it easier for us to slide our picture in. And we're using our eyeball method, trying to see where our little diamonds are, and I'm trying to center it in between those spaces. I kind of like it there. That's where I'm going with. Okay, so let's take this sticker off. Right there. And then we're going to do some glue. And then I'm going to want this here, but I'm going to want to take the edges off of it. I don't want all of it on here. I feel like I want to off center it just about there. Now we can cut these little pieces off on this side. Very good. Now we have that one off center, and of course I think we need another gold bow because why not, right? Why not? And maybe some flowers. Why shouldn't we have some flowers with a gold bow? Okay, lovelies, I have had a fabulous time putting this together for you. Here is our page. So we ended up doing, in the bottom, we have a little silver original and a Griffin flourish, and then we put the little cross starburst, and then we added some flourishes because we want some movement. And then up here we added some flourishes and 2 little bows because this is a double spread, so I like to do things in 3s. And let's see what else we added here. Some flowers, the North Star, or the compass, excuse me. And tons of these little, each one side has corner rounders. And of course, it has a pop-up dot so you can stick stuff underneath. Now the double spread of this would go in this direction. Look at that, isn't that just fabulously beautiful? It is so pretty. I am so thrilled how this came out. So on this side, I have a little bee. I have a little bee over here. So things kind of flow together so that you know that it's one double spread. So a little bee, some flourishes on this side. So we have a little movement, the stars, just like we have over here. The starburst, here we have the starburst and the compass. And then usually on my books, you can kind of pull the bow and it opens up. So here we open up this way. Look how pretty that is. And then you can still open it up all the way across your page. Look at that. Is that not so much fun? So I am so thrilled to be here with you. Thank you so much for all of your support. If you have any questions, please leave me some questions, your thoughts. So appreciate you guys subscribing and talking to me, commenting, and ring the bell so that you know when I'm gonna do another layout. So thank you so much, and I will talk to you again later. Thanks, bye-bye.